All right. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome back to Set for Life Crypto. It's your boy Crypto Curt, Crypto
And I'm
General.
Crypto General. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're gonna get back into it, brother. Why don't
Yeah,
you
so
dive back
part
into
one, we got part one, and it ended part one. The Wi-Fi disconnected. I had to wait for Wi-Fi to reconnect, and so I don't know what happened. But we're back. We're live. This is part two to the Japan XRP video. So this will be the extension to the cutoff from part one. So uh, sorry about that. So where we were at was basically the future of XRP in Japan. And if you're just now tuning in, again, you'll want to go back and you'll want to watch the first video on Japan. Um, I think we're going to see Japan continue to position itself as a leader in regulated crypto adoption. If Ripple's facing roadblocks in the United States, they're going to double down in Asia with Japan as the hub.
it. That's crazy because all of the turmoil of all the clarity and stuff that we need can kind of stifle innovation. So I definitely agree with that. SBI is not slowing down either. The FSA is signaling openness to innovation. I wouldn't be surprised to see the yen stablecoin on the XRPL within the next 2 to 3 years, and maybe even Japanese companies using the XRPL to tokenize its stocks, bonds, and other assets, man.
And again, if the liquidity keeps growing, Japan could become the model for how XRP can serve as real global payment infrastructure. The United States might have the lawsuits, but Japan has the adoption.
Right on, brother. So tonight we had some kind of special plan for you guys as well. To give you guys just a little bonus. If you guys know anything about Jay Claver and his domino theory, we're kind of playing into that tonight, giving you guys a little information on why he believed that the reverse carry trade is going to be kicked off this year, and how all of that adoption will be moved onto the XRP ledger. So, number one, I'm going to break down is Japan's debt reality. Okay. Japan's national debt is monstrous. Okay. It is over 260% of GDP. That's the highest in the developed world, bar none. Um, they survive because their debt is mostly held domestically. Interest rates are suppressed near zero, and the yen has been weak. Okay, so, but a weak yen equals a stronger US dollar. Okay, I want you guys to understand that all these times you hear about rates being raised and rates being hiked, every time a rate is raised, um, it's holding stability of its currency. Whenever excuse me, whenever a rate is dropped, then the dollar or the yen or whatever is losing some of its value. So um, being that the yen has been weak, the dollar has been stronger. So dynamics has been brutal, driving capital flight and squeezing Japan's liquidity. So this is what we've been seeing over the past 50 years with Japan. They've had rates low as 0%. Um, and people have been borrowing those yens at 0% interest. And now that they are about to get ready to raise rates, people are going to have to come out of those assets that they have used. So basically, they borrow cheap yens, come over here and invest in um, uh, how would I say it, in the assets of America because they are producing a higher yield. And when the reverse carry trade happens, that means Japan raises rates. So they are going, all of those loans that people have got at 0% interest, they are not no longer gonna look, interesting to people. Is they're gonna be raising the rates on their loans, and everybody gonna have to be trying to pay those loans, so they gonna have to come out of whatever assets they in. And transfer those dollars back into the yen, and then from there pay their loans off, and then try to put their other capital to work in somewhere else. And we believe that it will be the XRP Ledger where they will park that investment capital. So for decades, investors borrowed cheap yen at nearly zero rates. That's what I was saying. Invested abroad in higher yielding assets, U.S. Treasuries, emerging market bonds, etc. That carry trade cracked down when U.S. rates climbed. Now, if Japan raises rates, the unwind gets violent. Yen strengthens, global markets shake, and bonds puke. That's why Japan's monetary policy is a global pressure value. So enter the XRP as the lifeline. Now, this is where it get real juicy, guys. Y'all tap that like button, you know what I'm saying, for this information if you ain't never really heard about what's going on over there with Japan and SBI and then the XRPL. So enter the XRPL as a lifeline. Imagine Japan weaponizing the XRPL liquidity as a release valve for its debt spiral. Instead of endless domestic quantitative easing, XRPL rails let Japan settle internationally obligated instantly with XRP as the bridge, bypassing the dollar chokehold. If a yen-backed stablecoin runs on the XRPL, that creates a parallel system. Domestic payments stay yen denominated. So basically what they're saying is if they can pull this off, then they can kind of bypass the dollar's chokehold, um, issuing a yen-backed stablecoin on the XRPL, which will allow for cross-border flows to settle through XRPL, reducing reliance on the clearing. Hey, girl, what are you doing, Niecy?
She was giving you a kiss on the screen.
That's debt recycling via blockchain, not canceling the debt, but moving it onto the rails that bleed less FX pressure. Now that is a smooth move if that can happen. Now the micro alchemy of the carry trade plus the XRPL. Here's the wild part. If Japan allows capital outflows via XRPL, investors could arbitrage interest rates globally traditional without traditional FX markets. Example of that would be the borrowing the yen, moving it into the XRP liquidity pools, routed into USD, Euro, BRICS rails, all with SWIFT. That becomes the new form of the carry trade on the XRPL native. And the reverse of it is if Japan yen strengthens, it could pull liquidity through the XRPL based on stablecoin demand, locking up XRP as collateral, pulling demand away from USD rails. It becomes a programmable lever on the global FX market. So let's pull all of this together and why any of this even matters. Okay. Japan cannot inflate forever. Its bond market is very brittle. The US dollar system is weaponized. Japan saw that what happened to Russia's reserves, the XRPL plus adoption, stablecoin integration is a hedge. I want you guys to remember that. They're using XRP's adoption plus the integration of stablecoins as a hedge against inflation and a hedge against debasement. Debt keeps rolling, cross-border remains liquid, and the reverse carry trade volatility gets smoothed out on the blockchain rails. So the takeaway of all of this is Japan at its debt on the XRPL. This isn't literal, but XRPL could become the escape hatch for a trapped economy. The reverse carry trade and the XRPL aren't separate stories. They're two gears in the same machine, one financial, one technical. And together they could let Japan sidestep the US dollar's chokehold while stabling its debt spiral. You guys, that would have been the end of the show tonight. We didn't have too much more for you guys. So that's been at least an hour into a deep dive into Japan and the XRPL. We went from regulation to banks to real world cases to liquidity and finally the future. Hopefully, you will see why Japan matters to so much to XRP's global story.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened with the internet and the video come back on. This is part two. I'm not sure how it came out because it was I just had to jump back in to get us back on the live. So I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah, bro.
how this recording turned out. I apologize. Hopefully we don't have hiccups with the internet just getting randomly flickering off. It's not something that normally happens, but
Right, right. So if you guys, if you take away anything tonight too, before we get up out of here, if you take away one thing from tonight, this is that while the West debates on clarity laws and putting all the infrastructure in place for America, Japan is building, man, and XRP is right at the center of everything they build it. You know what I mean? So if you're serious about understanding XRP's long-term value, you cannot ignore what's happening abroad in these other places. Okay, so you guys keep your eyes tuned, keep your eyes peeled, stay stacking, stay building, and we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We are set for life crypto. I am your crypto general, and he
boy,
is,
Crypto Curt, and we
and
appreciate
we'll
y'all.
catch
Make
you
sure you hit
guys
that
tomorrow.
subscribe button, guys. Hit that notification bell so you get a notification when we come back on
Turn
live.
that bell on for us,
You
baby.
don't want to miss these deep dives, and you don't want to miss the information that we're going to be bringing to you guys. It's very valuable
Absolutely,
information. It really
absolutely.
is. And we're
Bet
giving it
on
to you for free, and we
right,
appreciate your time. We know your time is valuable, so we're bringing you something valuable to fill your time with.
right.
So just
And you
stay
guys,
tuned.
make sure y'all bet on y'all self, man. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming. Move, sugar. My dog. I'm sorry, y'all. Nobody is coming to save you guys, man. You have to bet on yourself. This is what my brother and I preach about a lot to people that we are acquainted with and the people that are in our lives. We try to tell them and preach to them on how important it is for you to bet on yourself, take those risks and take those chances for yourself. Build your portfolios up, whether it be crypto, commodities, stocks, whatever the market is that you into. Build your portfolio and start building up your future because no one is going to build it for you. If, what, girl? If you are just depending on what the government will provide for you, you will have the bare minimum. um, so yeah, keep stacking that XRP bag, man, and stay humble and stay hungry. And like we said, Crypto General out,
Crypto
and
Curt. We'll see y'all next time.
we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Y'all have a good one.
See you later, Captain Lay. I love you.
Bye.
I love you.
Love you.
See you later. I'm gonna call you in a minute, girl. All right, brother.